Welcome to Caribbean Innovation Ventures. My name is Sonja Salsar and I'm the founder. Today, I'm delighted to be speaking with Mr. Dwayne Samuels, co-founder of Gerkley. Dwayne, welcome.
Hi, it is glad to be here.
Thank you so much for speaking to our Caribbean audience.
Nice. Hi.
So you're here in the world-renowned Silicon Valley. How is it going?
It's been amazing. I've been like almost every day I've been to like different events, networking with persons, expanding my network. It's like nowhere else that I've been before, and it's an amazing place. Everything that people always say and more, you know, so it's really amazing.
Awesome. I'm really glad you're having fun. That's what I was actually going to ask you. Is it everything you imagined?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. And also, when it comes on to actually like getting the most out of the network, actually the advice that people actually give you, when you actually implement that into your own startup, you can actually see the difference it makes. You know, and the thing is, like, people here are so helpful. You know, if you want to be introduced to Mark Andreessen or anyone, as long as they're like in his personal network or anything, they won't hesitate to send out an email to actually reach out to him. So it's really cool. People here are really helpful. It's just a really innovative place, and like it's so cool sitting like in a coffee shop and like hearing like probably like if 6 tables are around you, probably 5 out of the 6 tables are talking about startups or something innovative. It's really cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a really nice area.
That's great. Yeah, it's a wonderful. People here love to share and to share their ideas and help one another.
Exactly.
So that's very good. So tell us about Gerkley first. Why the name?
Oh yeah, so the name is a bit weird. In Malaysia, there's a town called Grik, right? It's probably 6 hours from Kuala Lumpur, and 4 highways pass through that town. People stop there to actually like socialize with the locals, and the vibe there is really friendly. It's just open and collaborative, and everyone wants to help each other, you know. And we wanted that to be the spirit of our company. Gerkley is a platform that enables consumers to actually know more about their customers. So basically, we use machine learning algorithms to analyze consumer feedback to see how engaged they are at events, and also we want to scale into the retail space to make that available for persons in that space. And also, we can measure their experience, and then from that have a better understanding of what doesn't work, what works, and then basically use that to help you to achieve some growth, whether as an event or as a retail store.
So who are some of your customers?
Well, we're working with a few customers right now. I can't really say exactly right now because we're having the product in the alpha mode. We'll be having the public beta being released in October of this year. But so far the feedback has been amazing. They love using the platform, and they see how it works for them and their events. So it's been really good so far. And probably could like give a bit about our history.
Yeah.
So we started roughly around exactly 2 years ago, the 16th of August. And we started off as like a small application that allowed people to exchange contact details and just follow business cards. So if you change your telephone number or your email address, everyone who's following your card would be updated. It was a simple idea, but the way we actually approached it was kind of different from what was available at the time. Microsoft loved the idea, so they actually helped us out. They helped us with the marketing aspect, getting customers, and also with products and services. Built that, released it. We had like a launch. We didn't expect that the launch was going to be like that huge, and pretty much we were expecting like a few amount of persons to be there. Like when we had the launch, they had like 3 newspapers and 2 TV stations in Jamaica. So it's like, okay, wow, we weren't expecting this. So we got amazing feedback from persons who were using the platform. And since then, we followed up on the feedback, and people wanted something like this to use in the event space. And in following that up and building stuff to actually like understand what people want in this space, and also coming to Draper University, and talking to the industry experts, we found out that one of the biggest problems that people have in the event space is actually measuring event ROI. No platform out there allows persons to actually measure that accurately. And in going that route, we found out that if we can actually like solve this problem, it can be scaled into many different verticals, you know. And with that, that has been our focus from that time being. So that's right now we're actually just focused on consumer feedback and measuring ROI from that regard, and also using that scaling into the retail space.
Well, congratulations on the success thus far. So
Thanks.
That's wonderful. So as you moved into it, tell me about your team. How did you guys come together? Where are they located? How do you collaborate?
Okay, my co-founder is Sean McLean. We've been working together for roughly like the last 8 years, perhaps. We met in university, and he is an amazing engineer. We've entered competitions in the Microsoft Management Cup. We won in 2010 in Warsaw, the prize, the interoperability competition. That was really something big for us. But before that, we're always like entering competitions and like winning stuff. So for World Skills, we entered. Sean won the category for web development, and I came fourth in software applications. That was like in 2008. In 2007 perhaps. 2008, we entered Microsoft Management Cup for in the user experience category, and we didn't place. The second year we actually entered the software category. We beat all the teams from Latin America and the Caribbean, and represented the Latin American Caribbean in Cairo, in Egypt. And the following year, we won the whole thing. So it was a global competition. So it was really cool. So yeah, it's been really amazing. So right now we're working with a machine learning expert who's based in Florida, and also someone who helps us with this product, who is also ex-Microsoft engineer, who's based in Oakland. So we have a really expert, really cool team, and everything is done remotely. And that's the workspace of the future, you know. So it's when we're actually like starting to grow, when we start getting that hockey stick curve, we'll be able to probably have a space here in the valley.
Okay.
We're one here. That's our goal.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me, what are some of your favorite productivity tools that you use to collaborate?
Slack, definitely Slack. Slack is amazing because we use a Git, and also we have continuous delivery. So if someone checks in some code, it basically verifies everything and then goes automatically to production when everything when everything works, when it's verified automatically, it works. And for each commit and everything that everyone does, everyone is updated on the team, so everyone knows where everyone is, you know. And also for collaboration, Slack has that many different applications can actually use to make sure you're following up on your product backlog items, and also making sure you're keeping track of your tasks and everything. And also just for just having fun, you know. Slack is a really cool place. And also Skype. So for me, the two tools we actually use for team collaboration would be Slack and Skype.
Tell me, what started you on this entrepreneurship journey?
I would say like I was always entrepreneurial. For as long as I can remember. One of my back in high school, I usually sell a lot of video games.
Okay.
So when it was in I think it was probably second form or third form. Between second form and third form, I actually started selling. They had this thing called Game Boy Advance, right? And also the Game Boy Color. That was way before. And it was some people couldn't afford to buy a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance, and I found a tool online, a Game Boy Advance emulator that allowed you to like play the Game Boy Advance on your computer, and
wow.
it was much more what do you call it? You had access to many more games, and people put all the games online for free, right? So I kind of saw opportunity there. Like people wanted games, but they didn't really know how to play them. So I put the package together. So like you buy the emulator for $50, and for each game you pay $10. So I burnt those in CDs and then sold that in the school.
Yes.
And it was pretty good. I was able to buy like a few books and like just hang out with friends based on the profit we made. And it was really cool. So I think even from before that, my father is an entrepreneur. He's in the home development space, and he builds houses and stuff like that. So he has a personal drive that I really love, and I think that significantly contributed to my path as an entrepreneur, perhaps. But when I actually even when I was in high school, I didn't really like have that many friends because I was always in the lab and everything. The friends I had were the people who like stayed in the lab, who learned programming, and also I taught web development as well back in high school.
Okay.
So I made a few dollars there as well. And yeah, that was really cool. So from then, I would say basically I was a hustler from then. And then I started to focus more on my craft and focus more on learning what's out there. Basically, Sean, my co-founder, has we basically lays a lot and talk about different technologies and different bleeding edge stuff and off edge things that keep us thinking about what's not about things that are applicable now, but will be applicable in the next 2 to 3, 4, 5 years, and even probably the next 50 years. And creating a platform of products that would basically leverage or take advantage of everything that would be happening then, and trying to build that from now.
Wow.
So probably my personal path, I definitely after probably my first or second exit, or first and second exit perhaps, I definitely just want to focus on research, having patents and everything like that, and then building companies around those patents or that research and development, and definitely focusing on VC. So probably that would be when around 34, 35, 36, around that time. So that's where research and development is the core of everything, and that's basically where I want to be.
Awesome. So did you study, was it computer science in
That's
college?
right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm just amazed the story you're saying. Yes, that's wonderful.
Great.
So what are some of the challenges you have been facing in terms of trying to grow Berkeley, etc.?
First of all, it's really hard getting customers. For the first set, and also it's just hard when you're building something new that people don't really get. It's really hard to actually find that pitch that makes them want to buy the product immediately. So it takes a lot of feedback to actually know what keywords to say, and also you develop your product based on the feedback. So more and more people get aware about what the product actually does based on feedback. So I think getting the right feedback is probably the hardest thing, because sometimes you're building something for the wrong audience, right? And you won't really find out until you're close to death, and we don't want that to happen to us. So we try to span out to as many people as we can ask, are we building the right things? Are you interested? And getting that feedback definitely helps you to build something people love. So I think that's for every startup, that's the biggest thing, actually getting the right feedback from the right persons. Secondly, just moving fast. Our team at core, we're hardcore engineers, and usually as a startup, I think one of the first things we actually did wrong, we actually built everything like a big company. We weren't really scrappy at first, because everything is supposed to be properly engineered. Everything we're supposed to follow standards, and it's supposed to be a great product. But at first, it's not supposed to be a great product. It's supposed to be really crappy, so you can actually get feedback fast.
Right.
So that kind of limited us for the first couple of months. So now we're kind of adapting to those scrappy, moving fast, and breaking things as Mark Zuckerberg always says. That's one thing. That's the second thing. Just moving fast, getting the right feedback, and probably I think the third thing would be just having a proper sense of design. And people always look over product design and user experience and everything like that. But paying keen attention to even the very colors you even use. I was like reading a book in color psychology. Like the very colors people see have a deep impact on the way or the way how people actually see your product, and impacts the way how people use your products.
Yes.
And paying keen attention to each aspect and making sure everything works together as a whole is the next big thing. So yeah, it's a really cool thing. It's very challenging. That's why I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, you learn so much. You expand and you push yourself so hard, and it's definitely worth it.
Amazing. So how do you test your product with your customers? Do you go out and speak to, let's say, 100 customers? How are you currently testing your product?
Well, first of all, we test through the network that we have.
Okay.
So pretty much that's how we actually did the initial testing before launching. And then we got like reviews in newspapers, we got reviews on blogs and everything like that. And from that we attracted persons. And also we're from that feedback, we actually knew where those persons like hung out online. So we could actually target those places and get people giving us the right feedback. And from that, we basically developed our own method of like I would say probably growth hacking.
Okay.
To always get persons coming in to actually review or stuff even before we actually took this route. So that was for the initial phase. For this phase, it's more closed because we actually know who we're targeting, right? So having it in a closed environment and actually getting the right feedback from persons for each and every feature, for each and every aspect, definitely helps you. And having that focus, I think, increases your success probably tenfold because you're not focused on like the whole finding who your right audience is. You actually know who your audience is. You're getting the right feedback, and then basically building a product around it. And then after releasing it in the public, you will get that scale because that's what people want.
That's a great strategy, and thanks for sharing about how you're narrowing your customer base. That's wonderful. I want to go back to what motivates you. You mentioned your dad, so I'm assuming he's one of your mentors, but you have a lot of mentors. How do you stay motivated?
Well, I would say first and foremost, probably my parents, as my father and mother. They are like very, very close to me. We talk a lot, and yeah, basically like everything. They always motivate me to like push forward and everything. Secondly, I read a lot. Well, right now, like for the last probably month, I haven't been reading that many books. I've been like just reading blogs and just like maybe tweets and everything because like it's this very, very agile. You know, everything comes in really fast, and like just because like technology is a really agile space, you have to get like information that's applicable to you at that time. But overall, I'm a very avid reader. I like reading life stories, biographies, autobiographies, and seeing what people have like done. Like humanity is a really awesome species. It's a really awesome. We're really awesome as humans, and sometimes even looking on biographies of Isaac Newton and Leonardo da Vinci. Those people who have been all the way back then, and they've been even sometimes probably even like so much more innovative than people we have now, and they didn't have the level of things that we actually had. It tells you that look, we have much more than those guys had. Why can't we do like much more amazing things that they were doing then? You know, so things like those actually push you to like break your boundaries and basically just stay motivated to achieve the best, perhaps.
Amazing. Yes, back to the fundamentals. Reading is fundamental.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for the reminder. So what advice would you give to Caribbean entrepreneurs?
Well, one of the problems I kind of like have with Caribbean entrepreneurs, they try to limit themselves to like if they're in Jamaica, they limit themselves to Jamaica. They go on want to be the biggest X platform in Jamaica. Or if they're in Trinidad, I want to be the biggest X in Trinidad. The thing is like the internet like levels the playing field for everyone. You know, if you focus on like say I want to be the biggest startup in the world in this regard, it's not impossible. You know, you have all the access to the resources, you have all the access to the network, we have LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You can like see people what they're doing and basically get connected to them through those mediums. And yes, like putting your focus not only on your country or on your region, but definitely in the world. That would be one of my biggest. I always like tell entrepreneurs back home that look, your focus is like too small. Like they get really pissed at me at times. But I don't mind. Sometimes you have to push people to actually see that, let them see the bigger picture. You know, so that would be my first piece of advice for Caribbean entrepreneurs. You could use your country as like the initial test market, but don't let that be your end goal. You know, there are 7 billion people in the world. If each of those persons give you $1, you know, it would be really cool. So just changing your focus would be one of the main things. Secondly, yeah, just expand your horizons, read more, and just pay attention to what's happening, not only in your country but on a global basis. The internet is the great enabler. It levels the playing field for everyone. So we're all equal across the board.
Great, awesome. Thank you.
Great.
So the final and most important question is, what's your favorite Caribbean dish?
I love ackee, and bami. I love the saltfish taste, but I don't like saltfish. But I really love ackee and plantains and bami and fried dumpling. I think that's probably my favorite dish. I like many other things that like would almost equal to that, but like I think that's the thing that's top of me. I'm craving some for it right
now. we have one Backyard restaurant, which is a Caribbean restaurant about 5 blocks away from here in Silicon Valley. So yeah, so I hope you're able to get in, have their taste, their dish. But I want to thank you again for being here. You have an amazing story. Your advice to Caribbean entrepreneurs is really good, especially starting back for the reading and enlarging your vision. It's very important, so I want to thank you for that. To my Caribbean audience, I want to say, remember to reach for the sky, because if you fall, you're going to fall in coconut trees. But if you reach for coconut trees, you're going to fall on the ground. Thank you.